So traders, we're in a bit of a do or die situation in the stock market right now. I'm going to share with you what I'm seeing right now. And again, I'm going to talk to you about the reasons why it's a do or die in this stock market right now. Let's go straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, see that free trading course right there in front of you? Make sure you click on that link in the description. Go get access to that. I'm actually about to start. I'm going to take that. I used to charge for that course. I'm going to start taking that down soon and start charging for it. So this is probably one of the last few days you can actually get it for free because I used to charge for it. So you still can get free access to it. So link in the description, guys. Now let's have a look at here on the actual S&P 500. We'll talk about the futures markets here just for a minute. And the first thing I'm going to be looking at here, which is the S&P 500. Now look at this here. This is really interesting. We're at a bit of a do or die situation here. Look what actually happened here. So I was always wondering, and if you've been watching my videos for the last few days, I was always wondering whether this was going to be a significant higher low before we start to see a bit of a move to the upside. So the whole thing about this, right, is that we have a low, higher low, and then we have a movement down. So then we have this sideways movement through here. And again, question, was it going to be a movement to the upside or was it going to be movement to the downside? So by looking at what we see here, okay, and by understanding, look at this resistance where we are right now. This is a bit of a do or die situation. It actually tried, you can see right here, it actually tried to get above today, this resistance level, and it's failed. And so now what we have is we actually have this going through here, right? So we have a bit of a squeezing up pattern. So there's two schools of thoughts here, but right now the caution of what we're looking at here is that if we start to get something like that and then something like that, then it's not going to create that higher low, that major higher low here on that weekly chart. Remember the weekly chart, this is where some of you guys are getting completely wrong, right? I'm looking at the weekly chart at the start of the week saying this could be coming up. But right now we're looking at this and saying, okay, what's going on the daily charts as well too, right? So some of you guys are getting confused about what I'm talking about here. It's important to have the big picture in mind, and then also the small picture as well too. So looking at the stock market right now, we can actually see we have a down bar and then another down bar through here as well too. If we start to get something like this, then we're probably going to continue this overall movement on the downside. And we're probably going to see something like that. And again, right now, we've been in a bit of a do or die situation. That's why I'm saying if we break up, then we're probably going to start to see a really big move up. If we break down, like we're seeing here, we're probably likely to see another movement on the downside. And so by looking at this, the reason why I say that is because you can see overall, if I go to my weekly charts here, you can actually see overall, we're actually still getting what? Down, up, lower high, and now we've got what? Another lower high. I was always wondering, is this going to be a higher low or is this going to be another lower high and we roll over? That's the big question mark where we are right now. And so that's actually the big thing that I'm looking for when it comes to the S&P 500. Moving over now through to the Nasdaq itself. And by looking at the Nasdaq and by looking at what's going on there, we can actually see that we actually have still the Nasdaq out of all of them, right? The Nasdaq out of all of them is still the weakest one out of all of them, right? We can still see here, Nasdaq is still just going sideways and the Nasdaq is still very deep on the downside. Look at this here. So we have movement down, lower high, and another lower high. And so we're very thick in the thin of the Nasdaq. Now the Nasdaq, there hasn't been any potentials at all. The videos I've done in the past have been based on the S&P 500. So that's what I'm looking at through there on the S&P 500. But on the NASDAQ is not giving us any potential higher low. It's not giving us any potential there. Big thing on the NASDAQ is that we're seeing the NASDAQ still hovering around just sideways around this 10,000 level. So this whole 10,000 level, right? Ever since basically since the start of 2020, right? If we have a look at that from there, basically from that point there to that point there, that's what? How many bars is that? 600 or almost 2 years basically, right? So we can see here in the middle of this one here. So we've got almost 2 years worth of support line here. You know, obviously not exactly, right? Year and a half. And that tells me that if we break, look at this here, there's actually nothing left through here, right? Absolutely nothing left through there. And the purpose of me telling you that is that once we start to, if we start to break down through here, right, and then we actually start to get something like that, then we're probably going to see a waterworks. And that's where, guys, again, I'm going to refer back to the videos I've been doing the last few days and last few weeks, saying we're at a bit of a dire situation. We don't know where it's going to go, but wherever the breakout happens, is it break up and out, or is it break down and out? Wherever the breakout is going to happen, we're probably going to go in that direction. That's where we need to be really alert on what's going on right now from there. And again, we just need to be alert from that there. That's the S&P, the Nasdaq. And then last off the rank I want to cover in today's video is the Dow Jones. Now, again, the Dow Jones is not looking too good, right? The reason why I say that is because we're starting to get what? Let's actually do this here. So we're starting to get this through here. We're starting to get down and then up. Are we going to get something like that? Are we about to see, is this actually developing just a bear flag? Because if this is just a bear flag formation, and again, look at this here. Look how sort of hard we're hovering around this level through here, right? That level all through there. Support, resistance, and now we're actually hovering around this level through here. We can actually see this going on through here, right? Down, up. Is this just a bear flag? Because if it is just a bear flag and we're hovering around this resistance level, if indeed, you can see, look at this. All right, like, check this out. So I'm going to go zoom in a bit deeper here, and I'm going to show you this here, right? So that's the actual support line there. Notice that? Notice that that's the level through there. Look at this here on the Dow Jones. This is really interesting. So we actually have a bit of a short-term TA for you guys, right? Look at this here. All the support through there, all the support. We actually had the resistance through there as well too. So we actually bring that up just a little bit more. Probably through there, I would say. That'll be the line. Notice how we actually broke up 2 days ago. We held it today. Are we about to break back down again? Right? Are we about to break back down? And that'll be the line I'd have to use somewhere through there. That'll be that through there. So if this is going to be a down and a false break to the upside, are we about to see a rollover to the downside? Are we about to see on the Dow Jones? Because remember, see, this is now, I'm putting it all into context because we're still waiting, right? Do or die, do or die, do or die. If we start to get a breakout and we start to get a movement on the downside of this, guess what? It's going to die, right? We're going to get a die situation in the markets. And then we're probably going to see a cascading effect like that, and then also like that as well too, right? So they're the really big key areas, the big things we should be focusing on and we should be looking out for. So make sure that we are continuing to keep an eye out for this, because the interesting thing that's happening right now is that we did try to break to the upside, and if this was going to start to lead into that movement back to the all-time new highs, we would have got some follow through. Now we're sort of failing where we are right now. We could be getting that rollover soon, and within that rollover, the Dow Jones if the Dow Jones rolls over, it's going to start to complete a bear flag, and we should start to see more downside to come. That should also put pressure on the S&P 500, and the Nasdaq is at that major level of support. And so within all of that, we could start to see a bit of a cascading effect if we get a breakdown across all the indices, and if that happens, we could see a bit of a waterworks happening across the stock market.